Hello, good morning, and welcome to a new trading video. This is not about a trading day or looking at the market. This is more a general concept when it comes to trading. I'm sure you've heard a lot about win rate ratio and how it has to be above a certain level, or at least to be 60, 70, 80, or whatever you may hear. Okay. I just wanted to share a couple of things because to me it is very relevant, quite frankly. And I'm going to illustrate this by showing an account where I've had, I've got several accounts and I do experiment with some accounts, different strategies, and some work better than others. The point being that you know it it the point being that it is, can I make it profitable or not? Is it after a year, for example, or after a month, after a quarter, or whatever the time period is? Is this something I want to pursue? Um, Anyways, so I'm showing here an account where you can see I've had 383 trades. Out of those 383 trades, I had I won 330 trades. So it's a win rate of 86%. So according to statistics, we're way above 50%. I win way more, 86% of the time, compared to the number of times, the proportion of time where I lose. So I'm doing well. Yet this is a year, okay, and being honest, I think I must have traded it over a month and then didn't, well, scratch the strategy and move on to something else. So it's not obviously something I was trading every day for a whole year. But just to illustrate the time period I'm looking at here, it is a full year, as you can see. Okay, from the 24th of March to the 25th of March. Okay, so the point here is that on paper the win rate ratio is huge. Eventually, and again, I don't know what's the real, I'm looking over a year, but I don't know what's the real time period here. I've really traded it. But the P&L, technically speaking, is $440 and it's positive. But if you look at the max win and the max loss, there's a huge alarm bell here. And again, I think that's something I sort of, try to semi-automate to some degree, because it's always something that you're trying to do once you've got strategies you want to try to automate it first, and do it by hand first, and I'll try to automate it and see if it's scalable. But anyways, the point being, you could argue that on paper this has made $440, and yes, it could be automated and carry on doing the same without semi-automating it and not really worrying about it. But really, the reason I've stopped that is this: you can see the max win was $300. The max loss was $2,500. So we're losing, 8 times or so when we lose, and that's the maximum. So being honest, there was a maximum of 3 times as much as the maximum win. More importantly, even this number here is the average. Because that was one trade, but that was the average. So the average was like $13. The average loss was $84. So again, that proportion is not great at all on paper. And you can see the max drawdown was this one trade at 2.5K, and the max profit was this max trade of terms of profit. Sorry, was $1,200 ish. Okay, so to me this is, and I'm using something I've done, so you can see it. It's on paper you could make this look good, and if you only show this part here, it looks good, right? 383 trades, 4 scratch. I won 330 trades out of 383, 86% success. And if you sell that to someone, great, you're amazing. Reality is, out of 383 trades, we've got $440 profit. It's not a lot. I mean, you could do the stat, but it's not a lot per trade. Still, you could argue that this is still positive and therefore valuable, especially if it can be automated to some degree. So you don't need to worry about it. But, that's not my style. It's just that I experiment things as I'm pointing out. If I was to go back here, so we're just looking at this week and try to, sorry, I'm probably here on, gosh, let me try this. So if we go up to today, other way around. So if I do it from whatever, from the 1st till the 7th, apply. What's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, I am taking the same day still. No, it should work. Oh, okay. Just a year needs to be changed. See that specifically on that day, that week I hadn't trade. Okay, and it still doesn't work. Wow, we gotta get there one day. Right. So there we go. That's what I wanted to show you. That's from the 1st of March to till, well, today I haven't traded, but since last night. Now we double the P&L I showed you earlier. So $1,800, 28 trades, so far less trades, and it's a 96% success rate, because out of 28 trades, I've had 27 winning trades. All right. The max loss, and this is really where, to me, it counts. Okay, there was a max drawdown which was controlled, and clearly the fact the max loss was 250, the max drawdown, is something where it was a question of timing, and we had some drawdown for some time and came back up. I don't know if it's even related to the 250, but the point being, that's the important part. The average win. This is something I've done manually, by the way, so it's much more discretionary. And again, I'm testing a couple of things. Certainly since Feb, since I started to do the videos again. So it's not necessarily how I would do things all the time. But point being here is, when you have a max win, it's much higher than max loss, and when you have an average win, even more importantly, it's considerably 10 times, even more than 10 times, but it's much higher than the average loss. So, and in here we've got a 96% rate, win rate. So my point is what? My point is, when you look at that, when somebody gives you or throws at you some win rate, look at the details and think about the details. And when you trade for yourself, think about the details. Okay. Having a high win rate doesn't mean very much at all. Having a low win rate doesn't mean anything at all. I've seen people with 35% win rate, so meaning they were losing 65% of the time and still making shitloads of money, because they had loads of trades, and whenever they had they were in the red, so to speak, the trade would be cut off, and they would consistently do that. But then when I had a winner, they would let the winner run, and hence the stats, okay, in that particular example. But just to say, you need to see the full picture if you want it to be relevant and meaningful, as it's easy to be misled by stats. And that's the stats, by the way. I don't make any of those stats. They all come from, Jigsaw Trading, which is the DOM that I use, which I've showed before. Yeah. And automatically it creates all the stats. You've got amazing stats and charts, and it's very good. platform, Jigsaw, which I would highly recommend if you want to use it. DOM is very customizable. Again, people I've trained are using it. Most prop desk use Jigsaw or Xtrader TT. Occasionally some others, but that's really good. It's very, very much customized. You can customize absolutely everything: the colors, the layout, what you're looking at. You've got all kind of filters and to show you different type of trades, and then you make it your own and whatever's relevant to you. But the point here is just it's got a journal, and the journal is very, very, very detailed, and you learn a lot about your trades, about how you trade, about what you do, about your the good things that you do, the bad things that you do, the good habits that you have, the bad habits, the good and the bad. And this is really something I would heavily recommend to you if you're going to start with a DOM. And I've been using it since they started. So we're talking about probably 12 years or so, maybe plus, maybe more than that actually. No, more than that, 15 years ago. Anyway, I just wanted to share these guys, trying to think when people throw smoke and mirror at you and numbers and figures and rates, and it is hard. It's worthwhile learning, getting trained, training yourself, educating yourself if you want to, or my previous video I mentioned there's a number of people wanting to do some training, and I'm looking to do that and see if people are interested as well. And on this channel, there aren't many people because I haven't promoted it at all. But the point being here is that it is a journey. It does take time. It is not easy. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it. Let's not lie to ourselves. But you can, if you're sensible, if you're doing things with passion, if you understand what's going on, if you've got a real process and you stick to it, you will get to, profit, however small they are. Because, you could argue that even if you have a week at $400 or $800 a month or week or whatever, it's money that, it's free money that you don't have now, right? And you go and get it on the market and it's in your pocket. Anyways, so yeah, don't believe the magical stuff. It doesn't exist. If it did exist, we will all be doing it. And I wouldn't be doing necessary videos. I'd probably be on a beach and I would let it run on its own, So anyways, just wanted to share this. Any question, any comment, please don't hesitate, as usual. Hope that makes sense, and